Okay, well, I think we're good to get started. Welcome everyone to the 2021 SSP Annual Business Meeting. And thank you for joining us to reflect on the past year and the strong state of the society, to recognize the contributions of many volunteers, and to look ahead as we welcome new leadership to the organization. So 2020 will be an asterisk year for most, an understandable outlier versus the year before, with the main impetus for many being just to make it through in one piece. But like so many in our community, SSP rose to the challenge and didn't simply survive, but thrived. SSP Treasurer Emily Delkey will speak to the organization's sound financial state, but I want to briefly highlight some of the key non-financial achievements from the past year, where despite limitations, SSP continued to have global impact, extend its strategic plan, and deliver on its mission. In 2020, SSP counted 1,040 individual members and 74 organizational members. 20% of membership is now from outside of the US, an improvement from 18% at the end of 2019. And a statistic that I find extremely compelling: a third of these members also act as volunteers, with 291 individuals serving as committee members, board members, mentors, community ambassadors, task force members, and Scully Kitchen chefs. Providing our members with the means to stay in touch and informed during 2020 was a chief imperative, and the Education Committee and SSP staff delivered. All 2020 events were held virtually, but this did not limit their impact. In fact, it may have extended it. 8 webinars, 2 Ask the Experts virtual discussions, and the popular New Directions meeting reached over 1,000 individuals combined and ensured the opportunity for continued professional growth during such a difficult time. In addition, SSP developed its on-demand library for professional development, including a quick starter training program for journals and books. Past webinars, seminars, and annual meeting content are all available for free on the platform and completely searchable with synced transcripts for accessibility and discovery. More than 4,800 users have accessed this content, with considerable usage outside of the US. We hope that many of these users are SSP members in the making. And of course, the Scully Kitchen continues to be one of the most influential daily reads for the scholarly communications industry, and it should be noted, a key source of advertising revenue for the society. There are 14,500 subscribers to the kitchen and over 1.2 million sessions in the last year. I hope you'll all be joining the closing plenary featuring Scully Kitchen Live, which is always a great way to conclude the meeting. And hand in hand with the provision of training and professional development resources is the need to present opportunities for networking and connection. SSP launched Solution Source in 2020, a service to both membership and the broader industry for business, event, and freelancer listings, and year-round connections, especially useful when we are not able to visit in-person exhibit halls. The SSP Member Exchange also provided continued opportunities for discussion on a variety of topics, with 449 posts since launch, helping members explore best practices and get advice from peers. For one-on-one connections, SSP also launched the Quick Connect Micro Mentoring Program, a new way for people to find peer advice and expertise. And who can forget SSP's formal mentorship program, a hallmark of SSP's offerings, with 354 participants served through the program to date, and continued positive feedback that this program forges lasting connections that continuously impact professional development and growth for mentees and mentors alike. These relationships were especially critical in the past year in providing advice and support during an otherwise disconnected time. Diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, and accessibility are core values for SSP, but more importantly than being values, they are the basis for a variety of strategic initiatives designed not just for words, but for action. To be clear, we are proud of the steps that we have taken for improvement, but recognize that there is still considerable work to be done. These efforts cannot be temporary, but as Dr. Williams rightly underscored in his stellar keynote yesterday, must be an ongoing commitment, a lifestyle. I want to recognize the tremendous work of the DEI committee in providing educational leadership and ensuring that DEI is not just a standalone group, but a presence in all SSP committees and in all the work that we do. We have continued to reflect on and improve the diversity of our programming, inclusion in speakers, fellows, leadership, and our collaborative work in initiatives like C4 DISC. The virtual meeting itself has allowed us to reach a broader audience than ever before, with attendees from Australia, Brazil, China, Croatia, Czech Republic, Germany, India, Serbia, Switzerland, and more, and an accessible platform featuring things such as transcripts for every session. The future of SSP is bright. If everything I've detailed here was all accomplished during a tremendously challenging year, I have no doubt that the organization will continue to flourish in the years ahead as the world recovers. I encourage you all listening to be a part of that flourishing, to get involved as a volunteer if you are not already, to be a mentee or mentor, to take part in other SSP programming, and to use SSP as a springboard for the next step in your career and professional development. And so now, sick of looking at my face on the screen, we'll move on to other people's smiling faces. So I'd like to move to highlighting what makes SSP truly special, its people. So first, I'd like to recognize SSP's past presidents, which I am tremendously honored to join the ranks of at this meeting's conclusion. I can say wholeheartedly that it has been the highlight of my career to serve as the SSP president. And I know that many on this list, despite their myriad of accomplishments and other memberships, feel the same. Similarly, I'd like to recognize SSP's founding board members. Without these individuals, we would not be here today. I am personally so thankful that these 16 people had the foresight and determination to build what would become the very centerpiece of scholarly communications. Next, SSP's committee and task force chairs provide the backbone of the organization, operationalizing the strategic plan and acting as an extension of the SSP team. If you wonder how an organization with only a few full-time employees can achieve so much, it is partly due to these individuals. Thank you all very much for your service to SSP. And thank you all to all those who served on these committees and on these task forces and have contributed to the success of the organization, especially in this year with so many competing priorities and so much Zoom fatigue. Next, we recognize David Crotty, Scholarly Kitchen Executive Editor, and Letty Conrad, the Learned Publishing North American Editor. These are tremendously important and very involved roles, and neither would be the same without your leadership. David and Letty, we thank you. And now, please join me in recognizing, and please do thank in the comments, the absolutely extraordinary efforts of the SSP staff: Melanie Dolchek, Mary Beth Barilla, Becky Carroll, Christina DeRose, Jackie Lord, Tracy Mitchell, and Natalie Zundell. These 7 women navigated the past year with seeming ease and contributed to what I think we can all agree has been a highly successful and engaging virtual meeting, which is no small task. I would like to personally thank all of you for your contributions, and especially to you, Melanie, whom we are so lucky to have at SSP's helm. And now I'd like to introduce SSP Treasurer Emily Delkey to tell us how wonderfully the organization is doing on financial fronts.
Indeed. Thank you, Lauren. So, do we have the slide? Yep, perfect. So thank you, Lauren. So my name is Emily Delkey, and I'm just finishing my first year as SSP's treasurer. What I wanted to share with you today was a very high-level summary of our results for 2020 compared to 2019. That said, all the financials and annual report are available to all SSP members at any point. So I encourage you to reach out to me at any point during the year if you have any questions. So as we all experienced in 2020, it was a very different year for everyone. And the financial pictures for SSP was no exception. The good news is that we entered 2021 in a very strong financial position with a surplus of $122,000 at the end of 2020. So how did we get there? Thanks to volunteers and with a lot of hard work from the team. But here are a few key highlights for us. So as you can see, there was a noticeable reduction in both cost and revenue due to the shift of the 2020 annual meeting and all of our programming moving to virtual on a relatively short notice. Fortunately, we were able to file an insurance claim for the annual meeting, and that really fairly compensated us for the cancellation of the in-person meeting. At the same time, we also benefited from the stock market a fair bit because it performed really strongly in the second half of 2020, and it gave us an opportunity to actually see gains in our reserve. Finally, with the help of the SSP board and over 200 generous donors to date and counting, we were able to start seeing very encouraging results through the dedication of growing the Generations Fund. So all this put us in a really strong position to plan for this great all virtual meeting this week. And as we look ahead of 2020, 2021 and beyond, we continue to plan very carefully through these highly unusual times. So as I mentioned before, all the financials and the annual report are available to all SSP members. So by any means, reach out to me if you have any questions. And then finally, I do really, as Lauren did very well, I do want to thank and recognize Melanie Jolachek, the whole SSP staff team, and the finance committee for their really hard work this year, which really directly contributed to all the results that we're able to show today. So thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Next up, I'd like to acknowledge the donors of the Generations Fund and also provide a quick plug to adding your own support if you have not already. The aim of the Generations Fund is to raise long-term funding for SSP's Fellowship, mentoring, and DEI programs, and in the process, ensure that the next generation of scholarly communications leaders are representative of and committed to a diverse and inclusive community. SSP seeded the campaign with $100,000 in funding in November of 2020, and since that time has raised an additional $110,000 in member and organizational support, including the generous donations of those that you've listed here. We are at 42% of our goal of raising $500,000, and you can help us get even closer. There's still time to visit the Generations Fund booth or click donate on the main menu, and any amount helps. So next, I'd like to recognize the 2020 to 2021 board officers, Alice Meadows, our president-elect, Angela Cochrane, our past president, and Emily Delkey, our secretary treasurer. And our 2020 to 2021 board members at large, Meredith Adonolfini, Gabe Harp, Lisa Hinchcliffe, Cy Conda, Liz Lorbier, Rebecca McLeod, Allison Muddett, Laura Ricci, and Miranda Walker. It was an honor to be part of this dynamic group that helped shepherd the organization and support SSP staff during the past year. We specifically recognize 4 outgoing board members, each of whom made tremendous contributions to SSP during their time on the board, and for many years to come, I am sure. Angela, Liz, Allison, Laura, we thank you for all that you have done and continue to do for SSP. And now I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming our 2021 to 2024 incoming board members, talented and innovative individuals that will help shape the organization's future. We welcome Randy Townsend, Sarah Rui, Charlotte Rowe, Mike DiNatale, and Miranda Walker. As incoming president-elect, I'm very pleased to recognize Miranda Walker of Wolters Kluwer. Congratulations, Miranda. And to all of our incoming board members, we are lucky to have the organization in such good hands. And now, as one of my final acts as current SSP president, I am very, very pleased to introduce the 2021 to 2022 SSP president, Alice Meadows of NYSO. This feels like quite a full circle moment for me. As some of you know, I am lucky enough to count Alice as both friend and mentor. When I began my career at Blackwell Publishing in 2004, Alice, then Director of Circulation, was a source of warmth, advice, and inspiration to this lowly editorial assistant. Over the past 17 years and different roles and paths for us both, I have continually benefited from her friendship and her expertise, as have so many in this fortunate community. It is my profound honor, Alice, to present to you this gavel, albeit virtually, and to welcome you as the next president of SSP.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I'm not sure whether I'm appearing or not, but it's fine if I'm not. Thank you. So now it's my turn to hopefully embarrass you. I told Lauren earlier that my goal was to make her blush a little because I totally echo everything you said, Lauren, about, thanks to the staff and to the community and to our volunteers. But also, I think we all owe you a huge debt of gratitude for your leadership over what's been a difficult year for everyone individually, but also for our organisation. So you have done an absolutely fabulous job, and I am not at all surprised by this because you slightly stole my thunder by telling everybody how long we've known each other for. But back in 2004, when you were, as you describe yourself, a lowly editorial assistant, it was actually clear to, I think, everybody who worked with you what a star you were going to be. So I think I'm sure I'm not the only person on this call who, when you were elected president, felt a combination of joy, delight, pride, and just a teeny bit of vindication that you were in a leadership position that I think was you were born to do, really. You from the very start have been engaged and engaging. You're smart, you're empathetic, you have all the qualities needed for a leader, and you've needed them this past year. It's been a difficult year, and you have really done a fabulous job of staying calm and collected and sane, and you've acted with grace throughout. It's been a hard year, in part because a lot of what you've done has been invisible to most people. This has not been a year when we've been able to get together in person. It's not been a year when we've been able to have many of the celebrations that we would normally have. And you have worked absolutely tirelessly behind the scenes, along with Melanie. And I know that all of us here share a huge appreciation for that. So thank you very, very much indeed. I'd also like to say a personal thank you to you and to Melanie for really helping me prepare for being president myself. I will confess to being both massively honoured, obviously, but a little scared. It's a big and important role, and your guidance over the past few months has been really invaluable. So thank you personally as well. So with that, I'm very glad that you're still going to be around for another year, and I know that there's going to be lots that we're going to work on together. As you mentioned earlier, I think particularly the DEI initiatives that SSP is involved in is particularly important to both of us, and I'm really happy that you'll be around to help move some of that forward even further during the next year. So on that note, I'm very happy to introduce, although a little sad to also be introducing Angela Cochrane, who will be rotating off as past president, but again is somebody who really has been a huge, a wonderful leader for this organisation and a huge influence on me. We couldn't have asked for anybody better as a past president. So Angela, over to you for the awards presentation.
Thank you so much, Alice, and congratulations to you. With SSP is certainly in good hands with you at the helm and our new board members. I've had so many rewarding experiences with SSP, but none more than serving as chair of the Nominations and Awards Committee. SSP benefits greatly from a large group of passionate and dedicated individuals that donate their time and talents to make SSP great. Today, I have the honor of acknowledging their contributions. But before we get to the service awards, I am pleased to tell you a little bit about the SSP Fellowship program. Prior to 2020, the annual meeting marked the beginning of the journey for SSP Fellows. With the cancellation of the 2020 meeting, we were faced with an opportunity to flip this around. Under the leadership of Kelly Denzer and Barrett Winston, co-chairs of the Career Development Committee, The offerings of the fellowship program increased. The fellowship program has been extended to 12 months, with attendance at the annual meeting being the capstone. We expanded the engagement beyond Leadership Academy, and the annual meeting fellows became C3 member exchange ambassadors who facilitated discussions in our member communities and are piloting our new Quick Connect micro mentoring program. As part of meeting participation, all fellows were asked to submit a poster session proposal, and you can view those posters at any time in the Pathable platform. More information about the benefits can be found on the website. When the call for nominations goes out next spring, I would encourage you to nominate the rising stars in your orbit. The SSP Fellows Program has been funded by corporate sponsors as well as the SSP operating budget. With the launch of the SSP Generations Fund, donations to the fund will support the fellowship program going forward. If you see value in supporting early career and student individuals in our industry, I encourage you to make a donation to support this valuable program. I want to congratulate the 2020 to 2021 class of SSP Fellows. Our early career fellows include Michelle Erberg from ProQuest, Melissa Cantrell from the University of Colorado, Ellen Fox from the American Association of Immunologists, Christopher McKean from Cambridge University Press, David Kim of Wiley, Hannah Vincher of the University of Nebraska, Omaha, Hussein Fauzi, Undergraduate Journal of Exercise Science in Canada, Sneha Rode from Cabell's International, Georgie Field of PLOS, and George Neem from BMJ. We have 2 student fellows this year, Hannah Rahim from the University of Calgary in Canada, and Jiayong Wang, School of Information Management at Wuhan University. Congratulations to you all. The preview plenary session is always a favorite at the annual meeting. We're treated to new innovations from known partners, as well as newcomers that are really truly thinking outside the box. Yesterday, 10 organizations shared their newest and most innovative products, platforms, and/or content with us. Viewers were encouraged to vote for what they thought was the best innovation. I'm pleased to announce that the winner of the 2021 Previews People Choice Award goes to Code Mantra. They're for using AI to make your documents accessible. I hope you all got to see the presentation because it was truly remarkable and inspirational to see how they've been able to use their platform and their technology to improve the readership and improve accessibility to our content. So congratulations to Code Mantra. So as I said earlier, SSP member volunteers are the lifeblood of the organization. And today we share our appreciation for 4 outstanding members. Next slide. Here we go. Randy Townsend of the American Geophysical Union and Demita Snow from the American Society of Civil Engineers are co-chairs of the DEI committee and had the task of transitioning this group from a task force to a committee. We want to acknowledge that 2020 was a very difficult year for all involved in DEI activities. Randy and Demita were instrumental in crafting the SSP anti-racism statement that followed the murder of George Floyd a year ago this week. They worked closely with board members Rebecca McLeod and Miranda Walker in ensuring that SSP was responsive to the events unfolding in the nation while setting the right tone. Randy and Demita led the DEI committee in efforts to seize the moment of national reckoning, to educate, and more importantly, create a safe space for SSP members to reflect and act. They also provided great assistance to the board, SSP committees, and the Scholarly Kitchen in how to appropriately respond or not respond to criticism of the stand SSP had taken. Randy is a change agent at his own organization and has passionately shared the groundbreaking work AGU is doing to move toward a more equitable research environment for their members. Further, he educates and connects the rest of us to rise to the occasion by sharing best practices and new ideas for how to improve our programs. Demita has brought many new voices to the Scholarly Kitchen in particular. Guest posts ushered to the kitchen by Demita have been some of the most read and impactful posts this year. Demita has coordinated several sessions and events and introduced SSP to Dr. Joseph Williams, who blew us all away yesterday in the keynote. Thank you and congratulations to Demita and Randy. Sophie Rice from Marianne Liebert has shown tremendous leadership in serving as an organizer of the SSP New Directions Seminar. She has led the team to ensure that this is yet another must-attend industry event. New Directions was already operating in a hybrid status, allowing the transition to virtual to be an easier lift. Still, Sophie was engaging and professional in playing MC for the 2020 event. Garnered many compliments for the interactive and engaging nature. This certainly set the tone for this annual meeting as well. I want to thank you, Sophie, for your commitment to SSP and to all of our continued education. Now, when SSP was ready to formally launch the Generations Fund, there were big plans to make a splash at the in-person 2020 meeting in Boston. Needless to say, that never happened, and we were faced with launching a philanthropic fund in the middle of a pandemic. Not exactly the best time to be doing some fundraising. Julia Kostova of Wiley is chair of the Generations Fund Committee and worked with the SSP staff and the committee to reimagine what could be done. She's brought new ideas as well as connections to the group and was extremely helpful in making this first year of fundraising a success. Thank you, Julia, for marching forward with this important new initiative. I think we have a couple videos.
Appreciation Award this year. Everyone, thank you so much for the tremendous honor of being a recipient of the SSP Appreciation Award this year. Special thanks and gratefulness to the SSP leadership and board of directors for thinking of me, considering me, nominating me, and selecting me to be a recipient. So thank you so much. Special shout out to Mary Beth Barilla, Melanie Dolachek, Ben Mudrack, and the entire fantastic New Directions Seminar team and the education committee. Certainly could not have been considered for this award without you. So thank you so much. I've had the esteemed pleasure of overseeing the New Directions Seminar as the lead for the past 3 years. So thank you to everyone that I've worked with. Very, very special thanks to Greg Suprock for taking a chance on me 3 years ago when he initially appointed me as lead. And of course, thank you to my very close colleague, mentor, and friend, Wendy Newsham, for getting me involved in SSP in the first place. So thank you so much. It is my honor to receive this award.
Hello, everyone. My name is Demita Snow, and I co-chair the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee with Savvy Cower and Randy Townsend. The committee is a group of dedicated volunteers that I am fortunate enough to work with. I want to publicly thank them for all of that they do in the DEI space. And though this award is being given to me, I accept it on behalf of all of the committee members. I also wish to thank the SSP Nominations and Awards Committee for their acknowledgement of our work. Thank you so much.
So each year, SSP asks the membership to nominate individuals who have worked in scholarly communication for 10 years or less. These individuals have demonstrated their potential through outstanding service and contribution on an SSP committee or task force and has made innovative contributions to the field. Winners of this award are people whose names you will see on boards, advisory councils, or engaged in thought leadership activities as they progress in their careers. This year, I'm pleased to announce that we have 2 winners of the Emerging Leader Award, Kelly Denzer from Davidson College Library and Savvy Cower of Emerald Publishing. Kelly Denzer was an SSP Fellow and immediately joined the Career Development Committee, eventually becoming co-chair of that committee. Having been a fellow, Kelly was the ideal person to manage the fellowship program, adding new perspectives to what SSP offers this group. She worked very closely with past President Adrian Stanley on organizing the SSP Leadership Academy, benefiting the SSP Fellows. Letters in support of Kelly's nomination describe her as forward-thinking and an innovative leader. She's not afraid to try new things and build consensus in moving forward. Kelly is really just getting going and represents a diversity in our members, being someone who transitioned to scholarly librarianship after working for several years in a different industry. Outside of SSP, Kelly's been awarded the scholarship to attend NISO, as well as served on several key task forces at Davidson College, including the Library of the Future Task Force. Sabby Kaur served on the International Strategy Task Force with past President Rick Anderson, and also joined the DEI committee where she became a co-chair. She was unanimously selected as co-chair and has been an amazing contributor to that group. Sabby organized and moderated a session titled Changing Workplace Culture Through Bystander Training. This is now available as part of the professional development series in the SSP catalog. Sabby has provided a different perspective to the SSP DEI committee by eliciting feedback from her colleagues in the UK to ensure that we are taking all perspectives into account when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Outside of her stellar performance at SSP, she's been recognized by her employer, Emerald Publishing, with several awards, as well as received the London Book Fair Trailblazer Award that recognizes leadership among those under 30. All of the letters in support of Sabby recognize her as a rising star in the industry with a passion for scholarly publishing. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you so much. I am truly honored to receive an Emerging Leader Award from my colleagues at SSP. A special thank you to those who have supported and guided me along the way, and to the members of the Career Development Committee who have supported me and our work over the years. I attended my first annual meeting as a library student fellow and attended the Getting Involved launch. I was so impressed with the enthusiasm from all the committee chairs and the excitement of the committee members in the room. It has been an honor to work with so many dedicated people. I look forward to continuing SSP's initiatives and creating new opportunities for us to be involved and contribute to the mission of SSP. Thank you.
The SSP Distinguished Service Award is given to a member for their work over an extended period of time on behalf of SSP in the field of scholarly communication. Kaysen Lindley is being honored for her longtime contributions to SSP. She has served on the Education Committee, the DEI Committee, as a mentor, and notably is finishing up her 4th year as a co-chair of the Annual Meeting Program Committee. Kaysen is always extremely thoughtful and thorough in all that she does. 2020 was an extraordinary year as co-chair of the Annual Meeting Programming Committee, with having the ups and downs of the pandemic. She worked with staff, the committee, and the board to repurpose much of the content already gathered and reviewed. Kaysen was asked to serve a 4th year in hopes that she would see the fruits of her labor at a 2021 in-person meeting. However, the ongoing pandemic had other plans. Not being one to shy away from a challenge, Kaysen has worked with the committee and her co-chairs to make sure that SSP has the best, and hopefully only, 100% virtual meeting. Thank you and congratulations, Kaysen.
I am tremendously honored to receive the Distinguished Service Award from SSP. And when I think about the other SSP members who've received it in the past, I'm truly overwhelmed. I've learned so much from being a part of the SSP community, and I always feel like I've gained so much more than I could give. In a year when there has been so much isolation, volunteering for SSP has been an especially bright spot, keeping me connected both professionally and personally in important ways. I want to thank the members of the Annual Meeting Program Committee, both current and past, who have been deeply engaged and full of great ideas. And I feel incredibly grateful to have had the chance to serve with 4 truly amazing co-chairs, Laura Ricci, Ben Mudrick, Yael Fitzpatrick, and Lori Carlin. You all are just the best. Thank you so much to the SSP Nominating and Awards Committee for honoring me with this award.
In 2019, SSP established the Honorary Lifetime Membership Award. This award acknowledges long-term service and dedication to SSP, which have had a profound and lasting impact on our industry, earning these individuals a permanent place on the membership roster of SSP. It is my pleasure to announce that Jean Shipman is being honored today. Jean has been a tireless volunteer for many years with SSP. Jean became active in SSP when there weren't as many librarians among our membership as there are now. She certainly played an important role in bringing librarians to the members. Jean most recently served as a lead at the SSP Education Committee until she retired last year. She is passionate about connecting the publisher and librarian constituencies within SSP. Jean has served as a mentor to many, officially and unofficially. After a long career of service to the industry in SSP, Jean recently retired and is being honored with this lifetime membership. Thank you, Jean.
Hi, I'm Jean Shipman, and I wish to thank the SSP membership for the Honorary Lifetime Member Award. It truly is with great gratitude that I accept this award, as SSP has been a lot to me over the years and will continue to do so in the future. Thank you, my friends, my colleagues, and SSP.
I want to thank you all for joining us today. And if I may indulge for a quick moment, this meeting ends my time on the SSP board. I will forever be grateful that you put your faith in me to serve. I've enjoyed every minute with my fellow board members, and I owe you all a huge thank you, especially to Melanie Dolachek, Mary Beth Barilla, Jackie Lord, and the rest of the SSP staff. The role of volunteer leader would not be as enjoyable without an awesome staff team making the magic work. I'm extremely excited about our new board members, as the membership has selected an incredibly talented and diverse group of people to lead us into the future. Thank you all for your time, and we will see you in Chicago.